right, well, good morning. Welcome back to my channel and my office, also known as my bedroom. What we're talking about today is I'm giving out awards. I bought pretty much every single language arts curriculum there is. It would have to have been pretty not good or suitable if I hadn't have purchased it for younger kids. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I think are the best regarding different areas. So best neurodivergent program, best gifted program, on and on and on like that. So first off, super cool products of the day. Because we are language arts, I'm going to show you this product of the day, which to me would be the best language arts sight word resources. So look, you do that, you flip it over, it's there, right? So this is to help them learn sight words very quickly. These are by Frazzles. So in a way, it goes on, and it is amazing to watch. Like even the youngest child really pick them up so quickly from this. Next thing I want to show you is this is from Moving Beyond the Page. And this is just a super cool activity that you can recreate on your own if you didn't want to, but I also wanted to show you inside here. So limited resources. So you have $15 and you have a puppy to spend on him. And these are the costs. That's what we did today. And you are having a birthday party and mom gave you $20. What are you going to buy for your birthday party? And second, another activity in here that I thought was pretty cool that, again, I think you can recreate is a Venn diagram. So we choose a country, choose a community in America. So we just chose countries. We did America and then we chose Canada just to compare them together. We also did, FYI, North Korea and South Korea and another one. And then whatever those countries have in common here, we'll put in the middle. And what separates them or makes them a little bit different, we put on the side. So that's kind of something cool you can do on your own. This is from Moving Beyond the Page, ages 6 to 8, their community book. Another activity I want to show you, or another thing I want to show you today, is these are books that are awesome that you can get from your library. Okay, Nate the Great, World's Greatest Detective, so kind of an interesting chapter book. Mercy Watson Goes for a Ride. They have a ton of books and they're all bright and they're very interesting. They're really interesting. We also have Owl at Home. Again, just give you a little preview in it. So interesting stories about Owl and the Fire Cat. The Fire Cat. So we didn't do them as, oh, I can read. We just did them as interesting books. So, and the reason I'm showcasing them is because they are all available at almost any library in North America, I would say. All right, another activity or another product of the day is 101 story starters for little kids grades 1 through 3. So open it up. The hamster was very excited. The pig was riding a skateboard. All the zoo animals were out of their cages. So that's all it is, story starters. Another activity I want to show you is, look at this. This is USA flashcards, okay? So there's 96 cards, 46 are president card, and 50 are state cards. So take a look. So this is a president card I'll use when they get a bit older. George Washington. And it has his nickname, when he was elected, his birthplace, and things like that. Another thing is you can pull out state cards. This is number 10, Richmond. Nickname, Old Dominion. Largest cities, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake, and whatever. So, and then on the front, it's got the dogwood flower cardinal and the flowering dogwood. I don't even know what that means, but look at that. So then we'll open up this map here. It can be like a game. This is a USA markable map. Markable map. And I will pull out a card, and then I will invade that territory, if you will, to make it exciting. But we have to find it on this map, and then I read a bit about it, and that's the one I can invade. Okay, so another geography thing. This is free. This is core knowledge, history and geography. I'm not sure if it's the kindergarten or the grade 1. Continents, countries, and maps. And because I've lived in certain countries, I read through to see before I used it, like if it was accurate to people who live there. And it was pretty accurate as far as stereotypes go. But anyway, kind of interesting, pretty easy. I just sat there and read it. Sometimes, well, we had the big map open because on the other side it's a world map. Okay, so that's what I want to show you today. And award number 1, I would give it to this by Bonnie Rose Hudson. This is Aesop's Fables. It's my favorite. So the dog and his reflection. So you start off with a story there because every curriculum has an Aesop's Fables. So you read it and then there's the moral, the saying for it. And then you have a little crossword puzzle about it. And then you're going to read it again. Another type of match the words that fit the size. But then you're going to read it again with these. So you kind of get it. Aesop's Fables. It's just they're basically stories with fables that have morals to them. Like that dog, he sees his reflection and he goes after his reflection, therefore dropping his bone. Because if he hadn't been greedy and wanted a second bone that he saw in the reflection, it wouldn't have happened. So this is Bonnie Rose Hudson. I want to say it's like $6, but I'm not sure. But anyway, I think it's great. It's 10 fables for first grade. I have quite a few. I bought way too many Aesop's fables, and this is my favorite so far. Best Charlotte Mason type curriculum, and that would be 5 in a row. What you do is it has a list of, say, 20 stories or something that you're going to read for the year. Maybe 18 stories, 18 weeks. I'm not sure. You read that one story every day for a week. Now, remember, there's before 5 in a row curriculum, and then there's after 5 in a row curriculum, or 5 in a row curriculum part 2 as well, if you want additional one. So you take it, you read the story. And so all you have to do is read the story every day for 5 days. And they're very Charlotte Mason type books, very interesting, they're just good stories. You read it every single day, it's read. And then before that, the prep you would do on whatever the weekend, whatever your prep day is, Sunday, whenever you're tired or awake, I don't know. You would choose, say, an activity per day based on the age of your child, because they have like each week, I would say, would have 14 activities that you can choose from. Some have to do with math, some have to do with science, some have to do with social science, some have to do with art, with all different topics, some with language arts. And you would pick an activity, very low prep. Usually you talk about something, you look up something. So very low prep activities. So I think it's just very Charlotte Mason, very child oriented. It has them, now it's from 5 to 9. So it has a smattering of activities based on what age your child is at. One woman who on the comments a couple days ago said that she uses it during summer, her summer curriculum. And I think that's a freaking brilliant idea and good on her. Next up we got, what do we got? Oh, okay. Best gifted curriculum, I would say would be Moving Beyond the Page 6 to 8, because it has a bunch of books that are bound for their language arts, and everyone features a story. So for example, the first one is, if I have the story around here, it's Tornado. And you open up this book and you go through, and it has a bunch of activities regarding, on a variety of different topics, not just language arts, but regarding that book Tornado. So it doesn't focus too much on grammar, because it believes that grammar is learned just by reading, which is how I learned grammar. The only problem with that is if you're going to grow up to be a teacher, you can't always explain what a noun is. Like, I just know what a proper sentence is by writing it out or saying it or something. But however, so there is that. So I am learning grammar. So that, which to me would be the downside to that program, but I think it's a great program. If you did the 6 to 8-year-old program, I think it would be fantastic for ADHD, because they're very quick. Like the exercises I showed you today in the beginning of the video of the numbers, like, oh, you have this much money, what do you buy, stuff like that. So I think it's fantastic because we could just sit there and do it very quickly. It doesn't take a long time. I want to talk about best readers. Best readers by far to me are the Abeka ones, starting at about 1.5 through. The first couple are not that interesting. So let's see, I've showed you in these before. So Strong and True. It has, okay, so it has all these characteristics that you are learning through the stories. Faith, faithfulness, different things, honesty. All right, and then you read the story, very interesting, really, like, so this is about, like, more about pilgrims. So it takes you inside a family, and you're usually a child in that family. And then it has a couple questions you can answer at the end. But they have, just this particular one has morals of the story. So this is 1G. So you read them in order. Remember, the first couple are kind of boring. But then you get up like 1A, B, and C, because you're still learning to read essentially. But I use them as real out. So this is 2H. This is where growing up where Jesus lived. And this is all about the clothes they wear, what they ate, things like that about Jesus. So I thought it was great. This is another example. So Quest for Adventure, because some of these stories, they're very interesting. So look what we're going to talk about. So when you open this, this is 2B. So starting on 2B, again, God's creation, all this stuff. So they have very important topics there. We are going to look at parts of a story. So plot. So you read the plot is something that tells what happens in a story, okay? And then you go through and you read this story. And then it also has words to watch for, words that they might not come across that often. So I usually read those, and then you go to the end. So it's usually a very dramatic, interesting story. And then you have questions of parts of a story. Who's the main character in the story? Describe Sasha. What is this story mainly about? Okay. So very interesting. Again, and they progress with age. I think they are fantastic. Okay, so next up, I want to do best grammar. This I think is the best grammar because it is, just because it's very interesting. and easy and simple. Let me show it to you. I'm just going to turn. Now there is a teacher notebook that accompanies this. I haven't needed it yet. But so every day has a capitalization, a punctuation, a lesson, and copy work. So yeah, so it kind of has everything you need. A statement ends in a period, it tells something. A question mark ends in a question mark. It asks something. I have a dog. Do you have a dog? So you're essentially putting it down there. Oh, remember, capitalization is the name of the road. She went to Green Street and starts a sentence. Okay, so we learned that previously. And then it does you always do some tracing. Usually here a word may have one letter. E or E alone does not form a word. Trace the capital E and trace the lowercase e. I don't know. It just does practice. For this lesson, it's always usually just practice writing. And then you can either trace this sentence or write it below. So pretty easy, pretty simple, easy grammar. And I don't mind it. We do one thing a day. Is it necessary? I don't know. Best neurodiverse curriculum to me would be, bam, at-bat, level 1, cry for brain readers. Best neurodivergent, best autism curriculum. Very simple, showed you a million times now, so I'll do it really quickly. So it comes with these. It also comes with a different book that has a bunch of exercises in it. I have the book with exercises in it. I don't think it's necessary to do the program, but it just depends on you, depends on your child, depends on what you're into. It's the right brain integration therapy that goes along with this. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I didn't find it necessary, but I'm sure it's great. So is that a snake or is it a worm? Ah, oh, I already get that. Excuse me, a burp is embarrassing. And then okay, so then you see 2 kids sliding down there and it says, Mom could hear the boys shouting, my turn, no, my turn, on the slide. So those are the first 3 from a story. Now, as long as they know, so they've memorized those because you've worked with them, and then they can sound this out, fat, pat, rat, and sat. Then, my friends, they can read this story. And every single story adds a new word and 2 new sight words in here. So it builds on it. It was amazing watching my son learn to read. A runner-up to program, because that I just think is the easiest program to read as far as language arts programs go. Because remember, you can get a language arts that's all in one, or you can get them separately and break it down. If your child's having tough problems handwriting, well then, maybe you don't want to do the good and the beautiful, right? Even it's free, well priced. There's also an alternative, which is, I want to say Treasure Hunters is an alternative that is secular, that is also free, that you can download. But however, if you're doing it separately, so you're just teaching them to read, I just want to show you Runner Up is all about reading. And we've started just going through this book just because we finished this book. We're just going through it because I own it. So we're like, might as well. But look how pretty this is. This is the first story they will learn to read, and they will learn to read it very quickly. I mean, within, I want to say like the first couple weeks of you doing the All About Reading program with them. So it's got pretty pictures and nice, easy things and things like that to read. So a nice and a runner up. And did I cover all the programs? Let me check. Best app for teaching reading, I would say, is Reading Eggs. The reason I like it is because it really makes you focus on it and you can't really skip past it. There's like no cheating to get past that level. So is Reading Eggs, and then an alternative, because that's a paid one, for a free one is the Duolingo ABC. It's not as good, but it's still cool that it sends you weekly updates, and it is free. Best book list, I would say, is if you go to Torchlight, it's a secular program. The book list is fantastic. However, whether you're into secular things or not, I encourage you to check it out just because it's great kids books. And you go there, you can look at the book list for free and take a look at the book list. The grade 1 was my favorite year for the book list. Oh, fantastic. Now I'm going to attach some book lists at the end if you want, because sometimes they're like 400 Charlotte Mason books in 5 minutes or something that I've done. Because I used to love books. I was obsessed with them. And I mean, I still am. Still am a little bit, as you can tell. So that I would say, that I would also give best literature program. It would be between that I was going to say 5 and below, but I gave that, I switched that to best Charlotte Mason. But best literature kids program, I would say it's mythical. So it would be the Torchlight level 1. It's very mythical. So you're building like a mythical city. And we did that activity and we loved it, where it'd be like, okay, how is your city started? Where on the world are you going to, is your civilization going to be born? Who are they going to pray to during this civilization? What myths are surrounding that civilization? and things like that. So it's very creative, very fun, and very interesting. So I quite liked it. There are elements I did do, elements I didn't do. We believe in God, but we still did what gods they pray to, because I explained to my son, like, hey, before, people used to pray to all different types of gods. I mean, they still do. They still do. So anyway, it was interesting for us, and my son has really strong faith, and we still had a great time with it. So I wouldn't let that deter you, and it's only $20, which so fantastic. Oh, the best picture book program. Best introduction to picture books and programs and things like that would be the Brave Writer. I don't like Brave Writer, certain parts of it, but I love the quill. I think the quill is great. If you have a 4-year-old, if you have a 5-year-old, oh my gosh, you get that quill, and it's got basically book lists for every month and then a theme, like cooking one month, and the next month would be books with no words and things like that. So very interesting. But it comes with a bunch of activities based on that theme that you can do with your child. So very bonding, I just think it's a great program. I think it's a great program, a winner. And I guess that's about it for now. All right, take care and have a great day. Can you say, please like and subscribe?
Please like to like.
And hit the bell for notifications.
Hit the bell for notifications.